Hey guys, welcome back to AZ Triumphster. So what do we have going on today? Well, it's time to do the do-it-yourself vented tranny top cover for the M8 Softail. Now I originally did this on my 19 Slim before I traded in for this 21 Fat Bob. But it was an easy project and it had some great results, so I've been looking forward to doing it on this bike. Now, the person and channel that gets the credit for this is Ron's Workshop. You know, all the stuff about excessive crankcase pressure and externally vented air cleaners, etc., led me to Ron's channel, where I found a plethora of fantastic information with great research and great results. Now, in his video, which I'll include in the description of this video, he has included all the links to all the parts which he purchased on Amazon. They're pretty cheap. Some of them come in a set of 2, which is fine. You have a backup. But let me show you here. I got everything on the table. We'll walk you through it. All right, here it is. Now, we've got, let's see, we'll start from the tranny top cover and work our way back. Your brass barbs, which are, I went with a 1/4 inch to get more airflow. I also cut, you can see that there's 3 sections. I cut 2 off of the end that will be sticking inside facing the motor, just to have less in there, less that could, I guess, come in contact with the motor itself, which is probably not even really a concern, but I don't know, peace of mind. From there, red Loctite tubing, and what we're missing right now is the check valve. It either got overlooked or hasn't been delivered, but I'll figure that out and get those. The check valve is going to allow the crankcase pressure to go one way and then not allow things to get pulled back in the reverse. Then you have your, well, you go with more line after that, and then you're going to have your tapered or different diameter barb fitting. So this is the end that's going to go on the hose, and then this end opens it up for the breather filter. And then lastly, and what Ron recommends in his video, is this cobalt tool, because it's super low profile, which if I could get it out, yep, I can, there you go, you can see. And that's going to allow you to get into this very small space right here. So with all of this, we should be able to get started. So let's turn the camera around and I'll show you where we're going to begin and what we hope this to be. I won't set up the tripod just yet because I'm going to pull these 2 bolts and take this cover off, and then I want to see what I'm working with here as far as how this is mounted, because I want to get it out of the way. This is just an O2 sensor, so I'm pretty sure I can unplug that without any issue, but I'm also interested in this here to see if I can unplug that and get that out of the way. So let's kind of work through those things here, and then if it all goes well, we'll set up the tripod and work on getting this top cover off. Alright, I've got the cover off. I unplugged the O2 sensor here. It's just hanging down, still connected on the back side, no problem there. Those little guys, I took a picture of what order they were in. I know it's only 2, but you never know. It's just best to document everything so you don't forget how stuff goes. Those came right off, super easy. Now the last thing is the remote preload adjuster, which is just going to be a Torx screw back here. Would appear to be the only way that it's mounted that I can see. I assume if I pull that, then I will be able to sort of get this a little bit out of the way, but that should free up the most available space on this side of the bike to get started. Okay, I tried to get you guys the best view possible. It looks like we're going to be using a 3/16 Allen. So I already cracked this one loose. It was a little snug. It's interesting finding that the torque is different from one bike to another when they should probably all be the same. My Slim was not that difficult to break it loose, but anyways, let's get this guy on here and get moving. So a lot of this is just going to be loosening it up, but already this tool is extremely useful. So alright, let's speed this up. Now, in Ron's video, he removes the oil line and plugs it.
It's always hindsight that's like, you know, maybe I should have done that. It's possible. Maybe I should have. All I need to do is get this bit in that last bolt without losing my bit. Good Lord, it's such a tight fit. All right. The bit is in. Now I just gotta get the wrench on the bit. And then I gotta break the bolt loose. Let's just add to the things I need to do to make this work. Okay, so that's on there. All right, I broke it loose. Good, okay. Well, and you can see the cover already moving. Let's be careful with that. We don't want to drop a screw or anything in there. You know what, on that note, goofball, let's go ahead and drop this bolt back in just to keep the cover situated. Oof, bumped the camera. All right, let's get this one out. See if you guys can see it. Not really, huh? Nope. Well, you get the idea. So let's get this thing out. All right, success. We got that rear bolt out. Let's go ahead and pull this dummy one out. And let's get this tranny top cover out of here. See what we're looking at. Here it is. All right. Pretty damn clean in there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is cover that with a clean shop towel so nothing gets in there. And I'll show you guys what we're looking at with this tranny top cover.
Here it is. Obviously that's how it sits on the bike. And then here's your opposing side. This is just a gasket all the way around. And you can pull it out, which I recommend doing because you know, clean it up before you drill into it. So I'm going to pull that, hit it with some brake clean, clean it up. While I'm doing that, I'm going to put pictures up here of the first time around when I did this, which I'm going to be using as a reference for this time, because the placement was perfect. So here you go, take a look. So that's where you could see it mounted from the top side, and then from the underside. They give you that idea too. So hope that helps. Okay, the gasket is out. It's always good to have some picks. You can get them at Harbor Freight, super cheap. This has been sprayed with brake clean, so it's good to go. Now, as you saw in the pictures, this fitting was located pretty far up in this compartment here. And again, I cut two digits off of this side, which is the side that'll be facing in towards the motor. I did that with like a super tiny hacksaw. I'm sure you could use a Dremel. And then I used some tiny files to clean it up. Of course, blew it out with brake clean as well. I don't want anything getting in or out, or in to the motor. So, but what I plan to do here is I'm going to progressively step up from a small drill bit, larger, as you can see here, until I get to the diameter that this will fit through. Now this is a 1/4 inch fitting, so ultimately that's what I'm aiming for. I'll probably end up a size or two larger than that, so this will fit through. But once I get to a similar diameter, I'll be test fitting this and making sure that it's going to fit. Now the other thing, keep in mind, don't go too far this way to where this end creates conflict with the cover actually fitting back onto the motorcycle. So again, as you saw in the pictures, I think it was located more in this realm right here. That's ultimately what I'm going to be going for. So here we go. Okay, there's the pilot hole, or you know, what you might call it. And from here, I'm just going to step up in bit sizes until I get to a 1/4 inch, and then start checking fitment. Maybe one or two prior, but start checking fitment with the fitting, and make sure that I don't overdo it. And there you have it. 5/16 was the magic number. I probably did it in a series of 10 or more, stepping up just very incrementally. This plastic is rather soft, but it's durable. So the last thing I wanted to do was to crack it, or have a misshapen hole that I had to clean up and then end up it being oversized. But as you can see here, there it is. So let's hit this all with brake clean one more time and make sure it's good and clean to affix the fitting with red Loctite. Okay, from here, all I'm going to do is put some red thread locker on the, just a very small amount on the threads here. Drop it through, well, washer first, drop it through. Then on this side, I'll put the other washer on, and then I'll thread that nut on, and I'll tighten everything snug. I don't have a torque spec. All I know is that I'm not looking to tighten it so much that I crack the plastic, but I want it to be on there snug, and then the thread lock's just going to do the rest. And then I'm going to let it sit for 24 hours. So let's get that on there. And there you have it. You can see a little bit of the red from the thread locker, so that made it through. It's nothing, no spillover. It's all on there snug. So like I said, I'm going to leave that. Now here's the thing. Originally I said a lot of this stuff you can buy on Amazon and it comes in pairs. So I went in halfsies with a guy at work who has a 21 Fat Bob as well. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this cover to work with me and pull his cover off and put this one on his bike. But because we don't have the check valves yet, I got these. That one's a little oversized. I'm going to find the right size and plug this with a hose clamp until we can finish the project. But what I intend to do is once I get his cover here, I'll do the exact same thing I just showed you guys today, and then that's where we'll pick this video up again and finish the rest of this project. So until then. And here we are a few days later, as promised, as predicted. Was able to swap the cover with my buddy at work, and it's not that it took very long. It was actually raining, so I held off for, gosh, I think it was a day or two before I ended up running the line up and over and down and everything. But it gave me basically a quick run through so I can kind of set you guys up and let you know what we're looking at with this one. So I'm going to run it backwards. I'm going to connect the breather filter first, and then I'm going to run it from here, which once we get it situated, I can show you more exactly where it's going to sit. But more or less, you'll see the line. Once the cover's back on, you won't see it, but it'll be running through here, and then up and over, parallel to the shock, and then down and connect to that, and then we can put this whole thing back together. But let's get started so I can kind of show you how this is all going to run. Okay, we have the breather filter affixed to the, this is about 10 inches of hose. I basically ran it and then made a mark where I want the check valve to go, which is going to be right about yonder. I also took this bracket off so I could have easier access to working in here, maneuvering the clamps and whatnot. But anyways, so yeah, now basically what I'm going to do is start at this end and run it from underneath up and into here. And once I have that situated, I'll show you essentially where that's at. All right, here we are under the bike. And here's the filter. And probably rotate it just for the best location where it's at. And then, you know, fix it. But here's your swing arm pivot. Swing arm. So your line is right here. You can see it. That's the line, comes up. And gosh, where did it go? There it is. So I'm just going to put a clamp on it and put the check valve in, and then figure out the length of the next part of the line, and we'll go from there. So you see here we've got the check valve run here, and the flow is you want the black portion towards the rear of the bike. And then what I did is, so I've got this extra long hose which I connected and ran and routed the way I want it to go. You can see there how it goes just under that valve and runs in line with the shock. So the reason I did that is because I'm basically going to mark it where it's going to meet the check valve, and then take it out, cut it, affix it to the check valve, which is easier to do it that way, and then run it down and affix it to this end. So let's do that and see where it all lands. And here you have it. That's on there. The line runs up. Oh, let's see, down in there. You can see it. Comes back. I just did it's not like it's tight, but the zip tie just kind of holds it there. You've got your check valve. And that runs down too. And for lack of want to climb back onto the motorcycle, you guys know where that pod filter is located. So now it's just buttoning everything back up and going over with you the results. One thing I did do, I noticed that when this remote preload adjuster is on the bike and the cover is on, that it kind of hangs, what would appear to be, it looks like it hangs down a little bit compared to its surroundings. It's not, parallel with any other horizontal lines. So I put some muscle into this bracket and bent it just a little bit, kind of like one of those while I'm here situations. So once I get everything back on, we'll see if that looks good too. Here it is all put back together. As you can see, there's the valve. It flies pretty much for the most part under the radar. What's interesting is that this O2 sensor plug was not in this location on my Slim, so I was able to have that valve back a little bit further. Plus, this cover was larger on the Slim because you didn't have the remote preload adjuster, so it was even further under the radar on that one. But this one still turns out good, pretty simplistic. So what are the results? Well, I haven't ridden it yet like this, but you guys that are subscribed and have seen previous videos, you know I did this on my Slim, and you know that I was very happy with the results. I noticed them immediately. On the Slim, it was a smoother rev, and it felt like it had just a little bit more pep. And although I'm sure I'll find similar results with this, and I'll share those with you, what I can say is the other gentleman who's 21 Fat Bob, I did the exact same thing too. Rode home that day and immediately called me and said, man, this thing feels faster. So, the more and more time that's gone by that since I've done this, the comments I've seen on Ron's video, the comments on the past video I did, this has proven results. So, and it's a really cheap mod to do. It's something you can do in your garage with minimal tools. So think about it, guys. You don't necessarily have to do it. You'll still love and enjoy your bike either way. But, if you want to be a little more hands-on and do something that at least, folks have had some results from, this is certainly something fun to do. Remember, I will put Ron's video in the description of this video. He gets all the credit for this. Again, he's got a wonderful channel, wonderful content. Should look at his channel, maybe even subscribe to it. While you're at it, maybe subscribe to this one. Certainly a lot more to come with this bike. Got some cool stuff for Christmas, so I'll be showing you guys that soon. But, go ahead and like the video, and most importantly, guys, just stay safe out there.